And so, in the spirit of trying to make this constructive and informative, but also brief and making sure that everybody gets to where they want to very quickly, I'll lean in to talk about a lot of the kind of the use of or the growth of litigation that we are beginning to see, especially from among the legal folk here. How is advanced technology, to your mind, being harnessed to streamline the dispute resolution process in the kind of spirit of keeping outcomes appropriate for consumers and for financial institutions? If you don't mind, I'll ask you, Mayank, to kind of Mayank Sharma, actually. Sorry.
So that was my opening joke today.
Yeah,
we have got 60% of the panel already covered with the name Mayank, but
Yeah, exactly. Well done. Yeah, Mr. Sharma, please.
So I think after listening to Sir and everybody across, I think the whole idea of getting AI into the use of ODRs and everything has been transforming. Like, I have been in regular touch with entire Credgenics team. We have been partnering with them since so many years, and I think the whole transformation of this industry has been phenomenal. And in fact, in the view that even the entire landscape of the industry, be it any assurance functions, right, from legal to audit to risk, is, Sir has rightly said, the whole idea is to get the repayment back. And I think, in fact, the use of AI itself in bringing the whole ecosystem up to the mark has been remarkable. And I think more or less every day is a new awakening in terms of, like, I have attended a couple of more sessions back 6 months ago or a year ago, and the whole journey of the whole the landscape of the industry has been changed quite a bit. And I'm extremely happy the way even the customers today, they are well aware that the defaults will gonna harm them of their growth in terms of their business and so on and so forth. And I think I've seen their video AI or the call AI, which is it absolutely resonates gets away with the cost and everything. So I think it's a great journey right now. We are at a great path, and maybe from here in a couple of years we'll see a more definitive forms of usable or use case scenarios where AI could be a part of our day-to-day thing.
Thank you. Just to kind of explore the other side of the question, which is around the kind of increasing complexity of legal disputes, Mr. Khera, looking at you, do you have anything to talk about on how a platform-based approach could help on that front?
Yeah, I think with new age tools like virtual hearings, automated systems, automated reminders, case management systems, as well as digital storage, we are on a path to digitize the entire workflow with respect to litigation. Even the courts these days have moved to WebEx or virtual hearings.
Yeah.
So we have very large platforms or large ODR platforms and large arbitration centers in the West. But we are not there yet as of now. But I think maybe in the upcoming decade basis, the amended arbitration and conciliation bill, which is in one of the houses of the parliament for discussions. So I think government is also moving towards more of an organized approach. For example, as we know, NBFCs, banks, ARCs are all highly regulated. There is a licensing requirement, there is a minimum net worth requirement. So government also wants to have accountability in this space. As of now, it was only concerned about regulation with respect to BCI, which is for lawyers, the Advocates Act 1961, which is the prevailing law. But now government is also moving towards more of an organized approach with upcoming ODR platforms. And since the courts have started recognizing the practices, procedures with respect to these platforms, I think future is very promising for autonomous litigations, autonomous legal management systems. When we have autonomous cars in this world, why can't we have autonomous litigations?
Indeed, well said. Let's talk to one of the legal experts on this panel, sort of bringing you in. Can you comment on that and talking about how financial dispute resolution is changing with the use of technology from a legal point of view?
Of course. So, looking from the past, we started from regular litigations, mapping of it, then came the automation, then came ML, now AI. Now what next? So ODR is the new end, and we got independent neutrals, right? So considering the overall gamut of litigations across, we see we need to have the players are providing is the consolidated platform converging all the information at one place. That is a very important piece which they are doing, and that helps since information is the key, that helps to resolve the disputes. It's on the people again how they utilize information best to resolve the matters. So there are a lot of regulations coming around. I would suggest yes, we should have a regulated entities, but the regulators need to talk to each other. That is very helpful. This is something new dimension I'm talking to on this project, because everybody has spoken on the technology piece, managing large volume of accounts, helping the firms, banks to manage large value and large count of litigations. But then now what happens is, like, since I come from both the backgrounds, from insurance as well as on the banking and financial services side. So there is a need for a regulated entity or a bureau which comes in the picture, helps consolidate data on the other side, which helps in loss mitigation, loss minimization, higher recoveries through legal actions. Of course, ODRs are the new thing. They have to follow the process, and the DPD Act, of course, is a very important piece. They cannot connect into a regular gateway or the regular platform which the banks are using or any entity is using, because it has to kept independent. But the information across, how you converge the existing information at the time of disbursement, then at the time of actually at the time of application, there's a distortion from application to disbursement, then at the collection stage, then if at the default stage, and at the legal stage. Because legal professionals, for us, frankly speaking, problems are opportunities. Bigger the problem, bigger the opportunity, as sir said. So bigger the problem, bigger the opportunity, bigger the fees. So then again, cost of collection comes in, the cost of litigation comes in. So we have to have a balance of all the facts and figures on board when we are dealing with technology and the risk associated with AI.
Well said. Let me, Mr. Verma, bring you into the discussion from a business point of view. I mean, Saurabh's given us a really good perspective from the kind of back end side, if you will. I mean, if you don't mind me generalizing, but you know, how does it look and feel in the front end?
So when we started a long time back, it was purely paper trails, long files, storage space. Sometimes files used to get swept when floods used to come. From those days, when we are today comparing ourselves, obviously a lot of things have streamlined, starting off with e-codes. Today, expectation out of a platform क्या है कि मतलब we are expecting the platform to ease out the operational business at one end and probably have a output which is quicker than expected outcome from the general courts. So today, for example, we use e-conciliation or e-mediation, wherein you can send a link to a customer and the customer can appear in a court, and those are the things that we are probably talking today. ODR, we never thought it could transform the way it has done. In my previous organizations also, we used to send ODR and we can freeze accounts.
Yes.
We can freeze accounts, which was unheard of. Freezing of an account would take years.
Yeah.
Court would never allow that. So something like that, remarkable changes are happening. We are also in a stage wherein obviously AI in collections is aiding into ODR, and that is undeniable. I think it has still got a long way to go. Because obviously the courts, the state of court that we have in our country, that itself is a choking ground for many of the customers, and customers take advantage of that fact also. But as lenders, it is becoming more and more critical to use these platforms to speed up their back-ended activities.
Got it. So Sharma, bringing you in, if you don't mind, you've worked across probably the entire spectrum of financial services, as your profile says, rural, retail, gold. Where do you stand on this? I mean, the use of technology in dispute resolution.
I think it's more like from our, if the government, if government agrees to it, like for example, most of the cases lying in our legal system as far as BFSI is concerned, a very nominal cases like 138 cases. And they have a huge chunk of it where arbitration, for example, if somebody has missed 3 EMIs or he's not available at his address, you will send a notice first and then check bounce, and there's a whole process which most of the companies and banks have a almost similar one. I think most of the cases which they are used as 138 is a tool to pressurize a customer to be it serious. I think if there's, I'm not sure of a large number, but I think more or less it should be 50 to 60% of cases on a BFSI side of it, if I'm not wrong. Only if government or a regulator, I think both of them, if they can just streamline it by just one line or a one circular, the most of the job becomes much more simpler.
Correct.
Like I have gone to so many arbitration because I had collections also, legals also in my span in last 1 decade, just to have a feel of it. What does the court does? What does the from both the sides, from a customer side of point of view, and then there are a couple of them who are genuine frauds and a couple of them who are genuine customers who don't have money at that point of time. So I think for both of them, I think the whole regulation of going to the court just because it's in financial dispute of not paying it on time, I think even if we fix, let's say less than X amount, let's say 5 lakh, depending on the size of the loan or depending on the size of the default, that could be compensated in terms of the future loans or whichever way. I mean, government regulator can think any innovative way. I think that would resolve many problems and the real time it takes to get that loan clear also. So even if I'm going through an arbitration, even if I can arrange money from somebody, the whole process to get it back to normalcy, it almost takes 1 to 2 months.
Yeah.
So even if I arrange money by the time, I would again have to go back to the entire cycle, so on and so forth. So I think this is a one small request. I mean, I've tried reaching out to many people at many forums, and I'm sure Mike would also agree with me that this is the most simplest thing anybody can do in Indian BFSI right now.
Very insightful. Okay, let's talk about Srividya, trying to bring you into the discussion. Thank you for being patient about, but we'll try and change tack a little bit and talk about the present and the future. Gentlemen have laid out really well where we stand or where we came from. What do you think specifically the role of a legal professional in the financial services institution is in a world that is so rapidly transforming, AI-enabled?
Okay, I get the hardest task of talking last, but yeah. I'm going to change this context where everybody's like gung-ho about AI. I'm going to bring in some...
Legal is still important.
No, I'm just going to bring in some practical difficulties that we face as lawyers in our profession. It's not one shoes fits all, simple as that. There are different kind of recovery mechanisms. There are different kinds of dispute that we deal with. There are some civil, there are some criminal. Various aspects, right? Even as a BFSI lawyer, you find 138 is a tool for sure, but it's not the only thing that you live on or try to collect your money on. So it becomes very difficult if I say AI सब कुछ कर लेगा या AI enable कर देगा. AI help करता है और it enables me to collect case laws. It enables me to get data. It enables me to know for sure, if Srividya, some cases filed against Srividya, how has she reacted as a customer? one beneficial thing about AI, sorry, just on my thought, expertise award थोड़े कम हो जाएंगे in online dispute resolution because the other party would be heard. It becomes easier for me to sit at my residence or wherever I am and address, be available. So that's one plus, a big plus I think from an online dispute resolution platform perspective. The other aspects that, some read, some faced. Deepfake is the truth. It's not going anywhere. There are judgments where, judgments have been passed by judges who are not there actually. It is deepfake. How do I know? Whom am I addressing? Where am I fighting my case? मेरा पैसा उसके बाद अगर deposit भी करना पड़ा कोर्ट में, वो कोर्ट में ही जा रहा है, कहीं और जा रहा है. Where do I know about it? So deepfake is a reality there. Again, while we all spoke for some time that collection के लिए voice, sorry all Credgenics guys, it's just I'm bringing a different perspective. Maybe there are tools which can work around this to be able to make it more humanized or build that bring in that factor that this is a human touch to it. That is not there right now. We don't know, we can't differentiate right now. I'm sorry if I'm taking too much time, but वो जो calls जो कर रहे हैं वो कौन कर रहा है? विवृति कैपिटल का ही कलेक्शन एजेंट कर रहा है या किसी और का कलेक्शन एजेंट जो पैसे वसूल करके अपने अकाउंट में डालने के लिए? एंड देन आई गेट अ SMS saying that or a call saying that I have already paid you. And regulators are very mindful about all of these as well when they are bringing in their policies, etc. But as platform providers, as these service providers, I think there is a lot to evolve from a perspective of a legal person using AI to its optimum, including documentation, whatever. I'm sorry, digressing a little bit.
No.
I am not somebody who would want to have my documents generated by AI. I want to feel the customer. I know ये customer segment different है. हाँ, retail है, एक product line है तो ठीक है. But otherwise, I would want to ensure that उस customer का requirement के हिसाब से document बनाया जाए. उस customer से when I'm collecting, yeah, please go ahead.
So I'm coming to you next.
Let him go on. He's itching to speak something.
I totally agree. But as you said, retail is primarily on the line assembly model, where we need AI that is helpful.
Correct.
It helps us in pulling various judgments, be it on the contract drafting side, be on the litigation side. But when you go on the wholesale transactions, the game is totally different. So of course, human mind, application of human mind is there, so you cannot replace that. And of course, new age talent has come into the picture because of AI. But yes, I totally agree with the associated risks with that.
I just thought I'll bring in those elements because everybody was only speaking about the merits. There are lots. There's a lot that we can do, and I am supportive of AI. Don't take me otherwise when I make these statements. It's just leading towards what all can be improved.
Definitely. And as you rightly mentioned, lawyers are relevant and always will be. But technology is not going to replace lawyers. However, a lawyer using technology will replace a lawyer not using technology. This is the future.
Absolutely, I agree.
Very true, very true. Actually, let me come to stay with you, if you don't mind, Ms. Khera. Let's talk about, actually this is, again, with some prompting, probably the final question on ethical considerations, right? We've spoken about the fact that it is the future, that it is exciting, that there is a lot that has changed and gratefully so. But what are the ethical considerations, maybe you start from a platform point of view, that need to be implemented, need to be kept in mind, even before the regulators start, wielding the stick, so to speak.
Got it. So I think in India, as of now, AI is at a nascent stage where humans are using technology to advance their cause. For example, we are using technology to auto-generate millions of documents. If I say we are generating 70-80 millions of documents in a month as of now, the auto-generate documents. So as of now, AI is nowhere close to replacing humans. I'm talking about routine tasks. So we are as of now in the business of automating and implementing routine tasks. So maybe in certain sectors like healthcare or in the fintech space, if I talk about, there could be loan frauds, or as Shri Vidya rightly mentioned that there could be an agent who could be collecting money on behalf of someone else. So we definitely need to be prepared for it. So compliance is the key to start with from day one, and we need to see how it works.
Compliance should not become hindrance. So, as I said in my first part also, sorry I interrupted, why don't we think like becoming a ethical bureau, right? You're giving a very good thing to the industry. What we say is, as I said, become a regulated entity or a bureau talking to the regulators and help us having good information. So people are doing unethically digital tracking, KYC tracing and all that. I'm not talking about that. Look, we have an application of Motor Vehicle Acts also here for stopping the person for issuing any permit. See, so there is insurance sector. Then we have a SurfaceE. So when we talk of AI, you can help us have the data of last 10 years newspapers where particular property has been published. We can have it at place. This is in place. This when some of the players giving it, the news that help in SurfaceE postings. Then on the IBC side, you collect good information for us, pull from the social media, pull from the Insurance of India. IRD has lot of data that helps us in assessing the individual or the entity on which we are going to litigate. Then on the commercial vehicle construction equipment side, you can track the data for NCRB, SCRB, the ZipNet, who are capturing live data which are being confiscated by the law enforcement agencies. That helps us in tracking those assets. We are filing in the air. Legal has to be filed because if the recovery team which works as a on the funnel concept, top line portfolio, then 1, 2, 3 bucket SMA 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 and per head. So that helps us in filtering. Legal people will put filters on that. This kind of notice has to go in this bucket, this bucket, this bucket. If you give us information on time that this particular asset has been confiscated by the law enforcement agency under Arms Act, under Illegal Drug Trafficking Act, it has been captured. This data is captured online, but nobody is giving it. And it is not ethical, unethical.
No, I agree. But let me try and, Mr. Sharma, if you don't mind, push you to speak about the customer point of view. Who's taking care of them? What is the kind of equity, fairness, justification there? Sort of kind of painted a corporate or, business perspective.
Correct. So I think more or less in last maybe a decade or so, the customer rights and their entire journey as far as collection is concerned, even if so retail collection is mostly about collection and legal put together, the regulator has been very, very stringent on this, right from the timing of the call, right from ensuring the calling agent has to be trained in certain parameters. The calling agent has to be a part of your own ecosystem. He can be outsourced one, but has to be a part of your own ecosystem. So I think more or less any larger complaint or any series of complaint against any lender, be it SBI or be it any large NBFCs, in terms of anybody harassing customers in name of collections, is taken very stringently in terms of the regulator. So I think the regulator has very clearly given the rights of the customer. Plus, I think all large players follow that. You can't call after 8, you can't send SMS, you can't call random calls, and I think the customer safeguard has been there. And I think earlier era there have been few unfortunate incidents also from some NBFCs here and there where agents have gone rogue or their outsourced agents have gone rogue. But I think that's how the industry has transformed now. And why I think there may be a drawbacks on human and there may be a drawbacks on AI. Like she said the deepfake. I understand deepfake is absolutely real, but I think even a individual who is a human who works in a call center who is outsourced, he is capable of doing the similar kind of frauds what an AI is capable of doing it. So I think in both the scenarios the risk is same. In fact, the better, like in BFSI segment, it's as most of it is a factory line setting, so cost becomes negligible, audit becomes much more visible, much more faster. So I think in part of customer safeguarding, he has been to the best of his journey as of now.
Excellent. Mr. Verma, one of India's most successful fintech companies. What is your perspective as a closing comment on the ethics of the use of AI, but also the fact that this is thematic and harbinger of the future?
So I see it as a win-win, both for customer as well as for lenders. The more you propagate the AI into the mainstream of lending ecosystem, the more speed with which they work and the more fairness. So what we expect out of these outcome, what is the outcome that we expect? The outcome should be fair and it should be transparent. Digital ecosystem and AI brings that transparency into clarity. So there is no off-the-cuff things happening. Everyone is aware, the customer is aware of their rights, they are aware of the default scenario in which they are put to, and lender is very clear on what kind of steps are happening, what is the e-court hearing happening. So I think it's a win-win for both. That is what ethics is all about, transparency and fairness.
Exactly, absolutely. Final word from you, ma'am. Sorry we came to you late, but we get to hear from you last. One shoe doesn't fit all. Great comment. Do you want to use that to kind of help wrap things up for us? What's the future looking like?
I think I've spoken lots and also brought in a different perspective to this conversation. So for sure AI is there. It's going to stay. It will help us enable things. I hope I'm heard. Yeah, it will help us speed up things like everyone has said. But yes, long way to go. For sure. And honestly, we use the tools for early detection, etc. But when it comes to using it for the litigation space, there's time.
Excellent. Short, sweet, and complete. Thank you so much. Excellent panel. I appreciate all your input. I hope you did too. Thank you.
Thank you.